She shouted so loud the birds flew off the porch rail. "You can't touch that house, it's my son's inheritance," she screamed, standing in the middle of the dirt road with her arms crossed like she owned the whole mountain. I froze for a second, holding the old brass key that had come with the deed. My hands were still dusty from pulling the "for sale" sign out of the ground. It had taken me 7 years to find this place, an abandoned 150-year-old cabin mansion hidden deep in the Carolina woods. The roof sagged, windows broken, vines crawling up its walls. But I saw history, not junk. The paper in my pocket said I was the new owner. The land, the cabin, every inch of it, mine. Karen didn't care about any of that. She marched closer, her sandals crunching on gravel, waving some wrinkled paper in my face. "My grandfather built this house. You people just steal history and destroy it," she said, her voice cracking between anger and fake sadness. I looked at the paper she held. It wasn't even a deed. It was a family photo. A black and white picture of a man and a woman standing in front of the same house. Maybe from the 1940s. "I'm sorry," I said quietly, "but I bought this place legally." She laughed, a sharp sound that echoed through the trees. "Legally? From who?" "Because my HOA doesn't recognize your kind of purchase." That part hit me harder than I wanted to show. "Your HOA?" I asked, confused. "There's no HOA here. This isn't even a neighborhood." Her eyes narrowed. "Oh, there will be. We're expanding the boundary. My son's the president of the association. And this cabin, this land, belongs to our legacy." I stepped back, realizing she wasn't here to argue, she was here to take something she believed was hers. "Ma'am," I said slowly, "I've got the title, the paperwork, and county approval. You can check it if you want." But she just smirked and pulled out her phone. "No need," she said, pressing record. "You're trespassing, and I'm calling the sheriff." I didn't move. I just stared at her and said one line I knew she wouldn't forget. "You should probably check who the sheriff is before you call him." She blinked, lowering her phone slightly. I could see the confusion spreading across her face. That was the first time she realized this wouldn't be an easy fight. Karen's phone was still in her hand. But her confidence cracked for just a second. "What's that supposed to mean?" she asked, her voice shaky now. I didn't answer. I turned and walked toward the porch, letting the silence do the talking. The old wood creaked under my boots as I pushed open the front door. It groaned like it hadn't been opened in decades. Inside, sunlight cut through the dusty air, landing on a huge stone fireplace. The place smelled like history, oak, smoke, and time. I'd seen the records. The cabin was built before the Civil War. But Karen didn't care about that. She cared about control. I heard her heels stomping behind me. "Don't you dare step foot in there." I said, "This land is under HOA review." She barked. "HOA review?" I laughed quietly. "This isn't a gated suburb, lady. It's 40 acres of forest." She stomped up onto the porch and shoved a printed paper against my chest. "Temporary ownership suspension," it read. The header said, "Maple Ridge HOA." The date on it was yesterday. No official stamp. No county signature, just her son's name scribbled at the bottom. I looked up at her. "You made this at home, didn't you?" Her cheeks turned red. "You people think you can just buy up history and erase families. My son was supposed to inherit this land." "Your son?" I asked, folding the paper slowly. "He can't inherit what was sold at auction." That's when her phone buzzed. She grinned, showing her screen. "Oh look, they're already here." Down the road, 2 black SUVs rolled through the trees. Dust clouds following behind. Each one had a magnetic decal on the side. HOA Enforcement Unit. The words looked official enough to fool anyone from a distance. Karen straightened her blouse like she was about to watch a show. "You should have listened, cowboy," she said. "They'll handle you." I walked down the steps, calm but ready. The SUV stopped near the fence. Four men got out, black polo shirts, dark sunglasses, and radios on their shoulders. The first one, a big guy with a fake badge clipped to his belt, spoke first. "Sir, you're trespassing on HOA managed property. We're gonna need you to leave immediately." I didn't flinch. "Do you boys even know what HOA jurisdiction means out here?" He smirked. "Doesn't matter. We've got authority." I took a slow step closer, then pulled my wallet out. Their eyes followed my hand. I flipped it open, revealing a real badge, metal, not plastic. The kind that makes fake ones look like toys. Karen's smirk disappeared. The fake officers froze. "I told you to check who the sheriff was before calling him," I said. Voice low. "Now, who wants to tell me what this little operation really is?" The silence that followed was louder than her shouting had ever been. Karen's mouth opened, but no words came out. The men in black shirts looked at each other, trying to figure out what to do next. One of them reached for his radio, pretending to call someone, but his hand trembled slightly. "Don't," I said, my tone calm but heavy. "You're already deep enough in trouble." Karen finally snapped out of it and marched toward me, her voice shaking with forced authority. "You can't intimidate us. My son is connected, he's got friends in county zoning. In real estate, he'll have you out of this land by tomorrow." I tilted my head, watching her rant. "That's funny," I said softly. "Because county zoning happens to report directly to me." She blinked again, confused, like her world was rearranging itself in real time. The biggest fake officer cleared his throat. "Ma'am, maybe we should." "Shut up, Dean," she snapped. "Do your job. Remove him." Dean hesitated. His eyes flicked between me and Karen. "He's law enforcement." "Karen," he muttered. "He's lying." She barked. "That badge is fake. Arrest him." I smiled. "You're right about one thing," I said, stepping closer. "Someone is getting arrested today." I turned my phone screen toward them. The live feed showed everything: Karen's threats, her fake HOA notices, and her so-called officers arriving in unmarked cars. I had installed a motion-activated camera at the front gate 2 days ago. Every second was recorded. Karen's face went pale. You were recording." "Always do," I said. "Especially when people like you show up with homemade laws." She lunged forward, trying to snatch the phone from my hand. But I stepped back easily. Dean moved between us, holding her arm. "Ma'am, stop. Let me go." She screamed, thrashing like a wildcat. "This is my land." Dean's voice cracked. "Karen, he's the sheriff. He can press charges." For a moment, everything went still. Only the sound of cicadas filled the air. Then, from behind the SUV, a young man stepped out, maybe mid-20s, clean cut. Same sharp jawline as Karen's. He looked furious. "Mom," he said coldly. "What did you do this time?" Karen turned to him like she'd just been rescued. "Evan." Finally. Tell him this is ours. It's your inheritance." Evan looked at me, then at the men. Then at the fake notice still fluttering on the porch post. His face drained of color. "Mom. That property was sold months ago. You signed the release papers yourself." She froze. No, that's not true. That's not." Evan's voice broke. "It is. You forged HOA extensions for land that doesn't belong to us anymore." Karen's eyes darted around, desperate. "I did it for you. For our family." But he just shook his head, quietly. "You did it for control." I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. The truth had already hit harder than anything I could have said. Then Karen whispered, almost to herself, "This was supposed to be ours forever." And that's when I realized she wasn't just entitled. She was obsessed. Karen stood frozen on the gravel road, her son's words echoing in the silence. The men in black started shifting awkwardly, avoiding her eyes. The illusion had shattered, the fake authority, the threats, the act. Everything about her power had just collapsed under daylight. Evan rubbed his forehead, embarrassed and angry. "Mom, you can't keep doing this. You nearly got people arrested, again." Her lips trembled. "He stole our history," she whispered. "No," I said softly, "I restored it." I turned my phone toward her, showing the live stream still running on my channel. The video already had thousands of viewers, comments flooding in, calling out the fake HOA, demanding accountability. Karen's eyes widened as she realized people were watching her meltdown in real time. You can't post that," she stammered. "That's defamation." "Not when it's the truth," I replied. "And the truth is, you trespassed, impersonated authority, and tried to take private property. That's not inheritance, Karen. That's a crime." I nodded toward Dean and the others. "Drop the badges. Walk away while you can." They didn't hesitate, one by one. They removed their fake badges, got into their SUVs, and drove off down the dirt road. Karen tried to chase after them, shouting their names, but Evan grabbed her arm. "Stop, Mom. It's over." The sun dipped lower, painting the old cabin in gold light. For a moment, everything felt still again, the kind of still that comes after a long storm. I walked back up the porch steps and turned to face them. "I'm giving you a chance to leave quietly," I said. "You trespass again, and I won't be this patient." Karen's eyes filled with tears. But not the kind that came from guilt, more like disbelief that her control was finally gone. Evan nodded weakly, guiding her away toward their car. As they disappeared down the winding road, the woods fell silent once more. I stood there for a while, watching the last bit of sunlight hit the cabin's old wooden beams. It looked tired but proud, just like the land itself. That night, I lit a fire in the old stone hearth. The air was still heavy from everything that happened, but it finally felt like home. I took out my camera and spoke to the lens, voice calm but steady. "I didn't buy this place to fight anyone," I said. "I bought it to save a piece of history. But some people don't understand, land isn't power. It's responsibility." I looked back at the glowing flames and added one last line before turning off the camera. "I didn't fight for this country just to be told. I can't rebuild what was already mine." Outside, the forest was quiet again. The mountain breeze slipped through the old windows, carrying away the last echoes of Karen's voice. Justice had been served, without shouting, without revenge. Just truth, and a home finally at peace.